2, 3.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aziz. My metric number is CD190232. Today I'm going to talk about the introduction of our project and our project task. Our introduction is, as you know, C is a procedural programming language developed by Dennis Ritchie between 1969 and 1973. Mainly developed as a system programming language to write operating system. Main feature of C language include low-level access to memory, simple set of keyword, and clean start test feature. Make C language suitable for system programming like operating system or compiler development. For our project task, we was assigned to develop 3 programs that will guide the operator of supermetal company to improve their production planning. The design need to be proposed where one part design for one machine involved from raw material until you get the proposed design. 3 program codes also need to be developed as it will assist the operator. My friend will gonna present this slide.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Syahir bin Ramli. My metric number is 190052. I will list of machine, that is lathe machine, milling machine, drilling machine. And the lathe machine function is, lathe machine is a common and often used machine tool that rotates a workpiece by means of a tool applied to the workpiece to perform various operations such as turning, facing, knurling and grooving. There is specification and value for the lathe machine. Okay, the milling machine is a function of process performed with a machine that cutter rotate to remove the material from the workpiece present in the direction of the angle with the tool axis. That is a specification and the value of milling machine. The drilling machine function is a drill press which is used to cut hole into through metal, wood or another material. That is specification and the value. For the design lathe machine, we choose that is high cam, and the milling machine is the 4 hole, the drilling machine is the 2 hole and the cut. For the lathe machine, there is sketching from us and diameter, and the design 3D for the lathe machine. Milling machine is 4 hole, sketching, diameter, and the design is 3D, that is 4 side of milling machine. The drilling machine is 2 hole and cutting with a diameter and sketching. The design is 3D, and the design also show the 3 part of side. Thanks. I will give to my friend. Next.
And next, for operational analysis, this is the product for the lathe machine. The measurement is part length, diameter, and the slot depth. For the operation procedure, we can see here is about 16 or 17 the operation procedure to do the project for the lathe machine. And this is for the milling machine where it has 4 holes. The measurement is here, and the operation procedure also have 16 and 70 the procedure. For the last is drilling machine. The measurement is here. You can see here the measurement. And for the drilling, the operation procedure only has 6. It is more easy than the milling and lathe machine. That's not for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzuddin. Number matrix CD190158. Today I want to present about algorithm and flowchart. So we go for the first algorithm, which is milling process. Step 1, start. Step 2, enter the diameter of hole, which is 20 mm. Step 3, we enter the feed rate used, which is 0.143. Step 4 until step 7 is the formula for the calculation. Step 8, enter the number of hole to drill, which is 4. Step 9 to step 12 is the formula for the calculation. Step 13, enter the quantity of product, which is 3. Step 14 and step 15 is the total of the power consumption and time. And lastly, step 16 end. So this is the flowchart for the milling process. So we move for the drilling process. Step 1, start. Step 2, enter diameter, which is 50 mm. And step 3, enter the feed rate used, which is 1.701. Step 4 until step 7 is the formula for the calculation. Step 8, enter the number of hole to drill, which is 2. Step 9 until step 12 is the formula for the calculation. Step 13, enter the quantity of product, which is 2. Step 14 and step 15 is the total power consumption and time used. And lastly, step 16 end. This is the flowchart for the drilling process. So we go for the turning process 1 algorithm. Step 1, start. Step 2, enter the diameter of cut, which is 1.5 mm. Step 3, enter the feed rate used, which is 0.133. Step 4 until step 7 is the formula for the calculation. Step 8, enter the number of cutting to turn, which is 24. Step 9 until step 12 is the formula for the calculation. Step 13, enter the quantity of product, 10. Step 14 and step 15 is the total power consumption and time that used. And lastly, step 16 end. So this is the flowchart for the turning 1 process. So lastly, for the turning 2 process algorithm, step 1, start. Step 2, enter the diameter of cut, which is 4 mm. Step 3, enter the feed rate used, 0.133. Step 4 until step 7 is the formula for the calculation. Step 8, enter the number of cutting to turn, which is 66. Step 9 and step 12 is the formula for the calculation. Step 13, enter the quantity of product, which is 10. Step 14 and step 15 is the total power consumption and time. Lastly, step 16 end. So this is the flowchart for the turning 2 process. So next we go for the output of the C++ codes. So this is the output for the milling process. Next we go for the drilling process output for the C++ codes. And go for the turning on process for the output. And lastly, turning to process output. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Iman Akidin. My machine number is CD190039. This is for our calculation and formula. We have in our formula we have feed rate, cutting speed, spindle, and cutting time. So for our calculation for turning, process 1 we have cutting speed is we see 6.66 meter per minute. For the process 2, cutting speed we have to 4.9 meter per minute, and we have cutting time 0.851 minute. For calculation for milling, for the cutting speed we have 9.6 minute. For the cutting speed we see we have 21.99 meter per minute. And last calculation for drilling, we have cutting speed we have 5.890 meter per minute, and cutting time we have 2.65 minute. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azami bin Muhammad Nasri. My matrix number is CD190294. And today I want to talk about conclusion. In conclusion, by building programs in C language, the computer programming project succeeded in achieving its goal of creating a better schedule to organize time and accept more business, applying and improving the business problem even around department. We developed 4C coding programs for mechanical design, planning of production, manufacturing, and packaging and logistics. All of this coding consists two functions, two for looping, and two types of decision operation. We also design the flowchart of each coding. A flowchart is a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm for both writing programs and illustrating the software to others. Flowchart can be useful. All of these codes consist of two functions, two looping, and two decision operation. Every coding flowchart was designed by our project team as well. Diagrammatically, a flowchart is a summary of an algorithm. A flowchart can be useful for both writing programs and demonstrating the software to others. We have a list of many devices that have been used for the production of goods. The machine mentioned were the lathe, the milling machine, and drilling machine. All the attributes, parameter, and formula of the structure used to conduct this project were evaluated. The calculation that the goals were reached is another aspect. We understand the use of the formula for calculating the cutting speed, spindle speed, feed rate, and cutting time in order to solve the project. When knowing the steps before the expected output was reached, we solved the equation. We choose mild steel for the drilling machine, cast iron for lathe machine, and compact graphite iron for milling machine as our raw material. These raw materials have been listed for its specs and price. Finally, some important things that we have learned from it is designing a good software architecture and translating real-life scenarios into an effective code, and how to write an easily readable and understandable code as well as productive time and memory. That's all. Thank you.